Thank you for joining Pioneer. I'm Chris with Norman Public Library Central, and this is the 25th and final video in our series on the Swift computer programming language. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of this introductory series. You've learned all about a number of different data structures that we'll review in just a few minutes. But first, let's look at my solution to your last challenge. I've added a new structure called person. It has 3 variables in it: last name, first name, and title, all strings, none of which have default values. Swift will automatically create a member-wise initializer for this structure, unlike for a class. I've modified my media structure to store an array of people. I've also added a function to print my media. Finally, I've created a book that we can use for testing. Let's look at what happens when I run my code. I get a nice printout that lists my title, my author, my editor, and a description of what is clearly a super amazing work of literature. In Swift, we've learned how to create variables using the var keyword and let constants using the let keyword. We've learned about optionals, and the question mark and nil coalescing operators. We've learned how to use a guard statement to protect the rest of our code from a nil value in an optional. And we've learned how to do error handling with exceptions. We looked at using JSON to do object processing, getting the weather off of the internet, and we learned about object-oriented programming using classes, protocols, structs, and subclasses. There are a number of things in Swift that we didn't cover. I'd strongly recommend having a look at the documentation at swift.org to find more information about the language. Some of the things that we didn't cover are overriding base class methods. If you make a derived class, you can override a function that's provided to you by the base class by using the override keyword. We didn't talk about class extensions, a way of modifying an existing class when you can't modify the code directly. We didn't talk about generics or closures and lambdas. We didn't talk about computed properties or functions that run when a variable is set, or lazy properties. These are all more advanced programming topics, but they're out there. Swift is a very capable programming language, so if that's the sort of thing that you need, again, have a look at the documentation at swift.org. There are also some excellent books in the public library's collection on learning how to program in the Swift computer programming language. Good luck with the rest of your Swift journey, and I hope you enjoy.